Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second semi-final of the Irish Squash Open 2017. This is between D.James, currently ranked world number 60, and the younger Declan James, 23-year-old 2-seed, currently ranked world number 36. I'm joined this evening by another squash player extraordinaire, Kieran McCoy. Welcome, Kieran.
Hello, James. How are things? What's your prediction now for tonight?
Yeah,
I don't want you doing this now halfway through the game and saying who's going to win. I want you to tell me now.
I'll go for 3-1. I'll go for Declan James 3-1.
I'm going to be controversial here, and I'm going to say Declan James is going to lose this 3-1.
Well, that is controversial. Gamal is the older man. He's wearing the navy or black t-shirt. Declan James wearing the lighter blue. So at this stage of the evening, Kieran, we've had 3 hard semi-finals here. Court very warm, so in terms of conditioning, do you think that will make a difference, or?
Not to these guys, because they've been, they've probably been waiting around all day, but they're very professional and they're obviously used to this kind of environment, so I don't think it really matters. It's all about tactics now, and the older guy has the experience, Gamal, and James obviously is trying to really stamp his authority on things.
So, Kieran, we were discussing earlier with when David was commentating about a lot of this game. I suppose you would say mental aspect, and in all sports there is a mental aspect. Let's call it the top 2 inches. So these two players, what you know of them, where do you think that will come into play, the mental aspect?
I'm not great on the old mental ability now, James, but I would say that experience to me is key. I think the younger guy, James, is going to really have to dig deep, and everybody's saying he's a talented guy, and obviously he is, and there's a shot to prove it. But experience, as you well know, tells, comes in very at the crucial times when it's really stressful, comes in very important. And tactically, everything is going to be nice and easy now at the moment, where the guys are just going through their routine, their tactics, but later on when it gets to the crunch moments in every set, 8-all, you'll see the experience, I think, tell. So the mental aspect is huge. So we'll see what Declan James is made of tonight now.
Very good.
What do you think, James?
Well, I think we're in for a cracker, Kieran. Look at the pace that we're seeing at the moment. These guys, they just are able to generate such, pace, as David was talking about racket head speed earlier on, and we're seeing an example of that at the moment.
I still think they're sussing each other out, and we haven't seen much of a risk yet. We haven't seen much risk taken yet, and they're still trying to develop rallies and get each other, trying to find their rhythm and timing, and it's understandable. But I think it's, style-wise, they're kind of quite different. So I think it's going to be fairly competitive.
Thank you, Kieran.
shot right there. Very aggressive from the back, loose ball, and he took the risk and paid off. I have to ask you a question, Jim. What do you think of the headband?
I'm not really, wouldn't be a fashion guru now, Kieran, but it looks like it's doing the job.
Just for the people looking, Jim isn't endowed with long hair, so he doesn't have to keep it out of his eyes.
You're saying that because I'm bald, Kieran?
Well, no, it's just very short hair. It's not the most fashionable.
Thanks for that.
That's a good shot there. Good quick boast. Tough call there, James. What do you think?
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess Declan James, he has a big swing and he's entitled to his big swing.
Probably not evident from the TV. These guys are big. I'm not sure the height of Declan James, but he's a big boy, and Gamal is a big lad as well. But there's a stroke right there. I'd say they're 6 foot, 6'1", 6'2".
Well, I think Declan James is actually 6'5", and Gamal is doesn't look like he's much shorter than him. So
6'5", Mike. He doesn't look it there now. That just shows you. I'm sitting here looking at this, and it's hard to describe the power and the physique of these lads.
Well, that's one of those unbelievable finishes from Declan James. I mean, the value of that forehand low kill.
Shabaggy-esque.
Absolutely. It should be a stroke. Oh, I would have given that a stroke.
No, I think so. He didn't make much of a... Now, I don't know how much of an effort he could have got around James there, but yeah, that's a fair decision.
Okay, we'll agree to disagree on that one, Carol.
We need the lads to start playing the ball and stop looking for strokes.
That's a fair point.
It was a tight shot.
You remind me of somebody there, Kieran.
Not me, obviously.
So we were talking about the squeeze earlier on. So the squeeze is, when you move your opponent around the court, and you end up playing a ball that is tight to the wall, doesn't necessarily hit the nick, but the opposing, just can't scrape it off the wall. So we call that a squeeze, and it's actually something you see a lot of in the game today. I mean, the players cover the court so well, and they're phenomenal athletes, literally. So. We see a lot of rallies ending with that shot where the ball is just too tight to the wall and can't be scraped.
Well, to me, the squeeze actually comes at the crunch moment of the game where it's say like 8-all and the lads start to tighten up and really get in the zone and focus. And it always comes down to that. It comes down to the percentage. Really tight percentages between the top players and the guy that's at, say, 20 in the world and the guy that's at 18 in the world. And they squeeze it just a bit tighter to the ball. They just have that small percentage better, and that's what the squeeze is to me. And the top guys like these lads know what that is. And when it gets to 8-all, if they get 2 points ahead at that stage, or say 9-7, they know what to do.
Okay, yeah. So what you're talking about there, Kieran, I think is... the squeeze point at the business end of a game. Whereas I guess what I was talking about was, the squeeze within the rally.
You see, people use a wrong, Jim, like you just did. So, I'm just kind of correcting you, really.
Okay.
But that's why I love you, Jim, because you always think you're right.
I'll have a word with my buddy Joey Barrington about the real meaning of the words.
Joey Barrington's hacker.
8-6.
Now we're 8-6 now, so this is to me what the squeeze is. So really important point here. It's either he's got James has the 2 points point lead, which is really crucial at this stage of the game. They've gone through the motions, sussed each other out up to now, and there's a stroke.
Oh.
Controversial.
Yeah. No real objection from Maz and Gamal there. So
it's a loose shot, though, James.
It is loose, but you know what? The fact that Gamal didn't really object. Perhaps it was the right call from the referee.
Maybe he's just very disciplined. Jamal throws in a lethal backhand boast every now and again, which is a really effective shot.
That's going to be a yes let. So, Kieran, that rally now we saw, and I know we've talked about it before earlier, but the value of the 2-wall boast. So, in that rally, we had Gamal playing the 2-wall boast, and we had James playing the 2-wall boast. And it is a shot that we see a lot of these days. What's your verdict on that, and what is the value of that shot if you can play it properly?
Well, I think they should stop messing around. Just play a 3-wall boast into the net. But Jim, if you're really asking, 2-wall boast is going to move the player off the tee, open up the court, and the main objective really is to get the front guy off the tee and in an uncomfortable lunge position, off balance, and play a loose ball. So then you can counteract that with a tight ball after that. You'll also notice that the pace has increased slightly now. Where that's
That's a tight call there, Kieran. I mean, I think Declan James was there. I think he could have played it.
I think there's an argument there for a wrong line as well, James. So I think it's a fair call. But, wrong line, straight to the ball.
I disagree. Kieran.
Just for anybody watching, James here has been known to be a very bad referee in the past.
So they pushed me into the commentating box. Now I'm not sure whether that was a drive or a drop from Gamal, but if it was an attempted drop, then it's one of the loosest shot we've seen in this tournament.
The pace has really increased, and the guys are fighting very hard to get to the front. They're starting to go a bit more. Oh, it's a good shot. That's no let there. It's a good shot, and James is looking physically stronger, and he's starting to manipulate the centre of the tee now. This is the squeeze right now.
finish from the Egyptian. I mean, really, truly wonderful finish.
James, you like that?
I do like that, Kieran.
Soft hands, just flicked it into the nick. Very difficult shot.
He's lethal on the forehand on those forehand drops. He's hit so many balls into the nick, Declan James.
I like the use of James' clever use of mix of pace there in the last rally, and he seems to understand what's going on around him here. So Gamal is under pressure. Let's see if he's guessed there. He's guessed it.
Unbelievable recovery. I mean, that is. What a recovery from Declan James. I mean, there's no question, Kieran, that you can squash, English squash see him as one of their great prospects.
Absolutely, he's first off, his physique is phenomenal. His athleticism is phenomenal. His understanding of the game is phenomenal, and even at the end there, he really adapted to the situation, changed his tactics. He started to vary the pace and really understood what was going on around him. So he's a player for the future, and he's definitely going to climb up the ranks very quickly.
Seconds.
So we move on now to the beginning of the second game. Declan James has a 1-up lead, and the challenge now for Mazen Gamal is to have a nice solid start, get stuck in, and see can he put some pressure on the young Englishman.
Yes, man. Come on.
Bobby there. I know it was a winning shot, but yeah, just taking a little bit of the space there as you were playing the shot. Okay, I've noted it. Okay.
Mazzarello saying that he noted a little bit of a block after Mazin had played the shot, so he played it and then moved forward. I have to say, probably very subtle, not something that I noticed. In any event, it was a great finish. There was no way Declan James was getting there, but there must be something going on. John Mazzarello is a very experienced referee, and so we see does anything more come of that.
I think the older guy is just letting the younger guy know he's around again, so nothing wrong with that.
And the older guy, for those of you who don't know, is V.M.Gamal. The younger guy is Declan James.
I'd say they can say that from the physiques, but I would say that it was a good decision, no let, and but he definitely blocked slightly on that.
Could be a stroke. And so it is.
Yeah. It's a little short hand. Yeah, right decision. My prediction of 3-1, Jim, isn't looking very good now to Gamal. You're looking good. Oh. It's a high pace here, and the lads are really starting to move each other around. But it's hard to know if Gamal has changed tactics here to deal with the first game. I think James is starting to, really get comfortable. He's really changing the pace. He's starting to control things. And I'm wondering now if... Oh, it's a loose ball. That's a stroke. I'm wondering if Gamal has it in him now at this stage to change tactics. What do you think, James?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's that's a good observation, Kieran. I'm just a little bit curious about that incident there. I mean, it seemed to me that V.M.Gamal, I think he could have got a stroke without stepping back into Declan James and exaggerating the swing. He gets a stroke in any event, but also a warning from John Mazzarello.
Yeah, yes, and as before, I think the guy now is starting to say, I'm going to start pulling and see if that works a bit, and that's okay. James has to deal with that, and it's an easy one to deal with. Just pulley back.
It's always tricky, when you go for that much disguise, Kieran, your technique perhaps goes out the window a little bit, and, more often than not, in my experience, it doesn't work. But I'm not Declan James.
Shabaggy does that well, but to slow down the swing at such pace and the ball in very slight with soft hands like that is extremely difficult. I think he's capable of it. I just think he got it wrong there.
Yeah, fair point.
I'm also not sure it was the right shot at that time. There's a question mark on that pickup.
For my money, that ball bounced twice, Kieran. We'll see what happens.
I think he would have called it, but rallies are a bit more explosive now, and it's a lot to the front. Oh,
Fantastic finish. All the balls are called good.
and in fairness, Gamal turned around and asked if his ball was good, and it was called good. That was very explosive stuff. The two lads played right up the court, and I'm wondering if this is now a tactic from Gamal. He's changing the way. Oh, yeah, that's an awesome shot, by the way.
Loose serve.
Well, punish it.
At this level, a little loose serve, then you can pretty much expect something like that's going to happen.
Yeah, but at the same time, you have to be focused, because sometimes you switch you off when you're receiving serve, or when you're even serving. You know, you just go back into motion. So the guys are switched on as you'd expect them to be. Oh. Now, if you recall, in the first half of the first game, I was saying the guys aren't going to take any risks. They're starting to take risks now, guys. So that is an awesome shot, and they're pushing right up the court, looking for the volley and looking for the risk shot that will give ultimate rewards.
I mean, that was a wonderful forehand volley kill into Nick from the club player. We can have a go at that 1,000 times, and you might get it one of these guys out of 1,000 times. They can probably do it 950 times.
Yeah, speak for yourself, James. 9 out of 10. No, obviously I'm messing there, but yeah, these lads at that pace, to be on balance and time it that well, it's quite unbelievable. But that's why they do it for a living.
That's why they get the big bucks. Except they probably don't get the big bucks. Unlucky. I think Mazen Gamal, I mean, he's a very fair player. Yeah, I think he's played a couple of balls in this match where, you know, it was probably to his disadvantage that he played them. But it's great to see.
No, I think it's the right thing to do, is play the ball, James. I just wonder now if Gamal should start to try and build some rallies and try something different, or if it suits him to have this kind of frenetic, frantic sort of play. That's a wild shot. So 6-7 here. We're coming down to the business end of the game. Big rally coming up. Oh. So we're all even. 7-all in the second game. And Gamal seems to be stamping his authority a bit more in this match. Oh. And as we say in the game, a taxi. Sent completely the wrong way. Had no idea what was going on. Oh, it's a good shot right there. Very good shot. Good aggressive shot. Not sure what happened there. Let's hope the lad's okay.
Yes, left. That's 9.
It's an awkward movement. He's kind of lucky to get a left, I think.
9-7.
So 9-7, and I think James again is just starting to stamp his authority on this slightly. Let's see if that little fall there is hurting at all.
That's going to be a stroke.
10-7. Game ball.
Yeah, loose shot, punished.
I think he was going for the nick there, Kieran.
But he got it wrong, James. Not sure it was the right time. Oh, that's that slow down drop shot.
Yeah, that's the shot we saw earlier. Better execution this time, Kieran.
A bit better still the finisher. What's really impressive is there you go, James. When it comes to the squeeze, James seems to have what it takes to finish out the game. He seems to understand that we're coming to the business end of the game, and he seems to up his pace, seems to up the intensity, seems to up the ability to keep the ball, hit the targets, and do the right thing, and be a bit more structured and disciplined. It's very impressive.
Sure. So, in your view, Kieran, I mean, like we've talked about the mental aspect of the game, but I mean, the players from the men's side of the PSA Tour, I mean, which of those would you see as being, the strongest, or having that 2 inches that we talked about upstairs earlier on?
Well, obviously you have to look at the top guys, James. You know, they don't make it to the top like Gautier, Matthew, any of the guys that make it to the top, and that's really the difference, because you can obviously see that when it comes to the fitness and ability and ball striking, shot choices, they all have it, but it really does come down to the very, very small margins, and sometimes the small margins are in the head. Some guys have it and some guys don't, and unfortunately it's like that in every sport. So same as rugby, golf, especially any top level sport. So that's why a lot of these guys actually go to sports psychologists and meditate and all of that kind of stuff, and it does help. It's very hard to keep your head and your mind in peace when all of this kind of madness is going on, and these are the guys who can do it.
Yep, agreed. Yeah. So as you say, the margins they're so fine, and in all of these sports, the mental aspect is such a big thing. I mean, these guys, their technique, both of them, is superb. Their strength and conditioning is superb. I think that Declan James probably, in terms of technique and ability to finish the rally, might have a slight advantage there over Mazen Gamal, but you know what, it is very small, but he's a very composed young man, no question.
Very, very impressive. Very impressive, and he seems, at the moment, he has dealt with everything that this Gamal has thrown on, and he's dealt with it very, very well. So, And full that, James.
And full that. Although you're probably not going to see a better backhand drive than the one that we just saw in the last rally. And that is superb. I mean, Gamal getting up. Off we go again. Declan James missing that forehand drop. Sometimes the athleticism of these players is spellbinding. I mean, there's no question about it.
Yeah, it's like I find, I don't know if you find this, James, but I found since the game's gone up 11 point per rally that the guys have got more explosive in their play, and they seem to jump onto the ball a lot quicker. Okay, the rallies can still be a bit longer, but they're not as long as they used to be. And if they see the opportunity, they'll explode onto it. And I think they train that way. I know that. Yeah. What do you think?
I agree, Kieran. Well, I bow to your superior knowledge, but I mean, I think that you need to explode onto the ball. You need to be there early and give yourself time, because that's what you need to do, because their court coverage is so good. But certainly in terms of a live spectacle, in terms of work rate, fitness, movement, flexibility, it's hard to beat squash as a game when it comes to all of those things. I mean, this rally is a prime example of it. I mean, really, look at what's going on now. It's probably hard enough to see on television, but
that's the best rally of the match so far.
Yeah, the best rally of the match so far, agreed.
If Darrow Flynn played that rally now, his lungs would be on the ground.
He'd have to go to bed for a week.
And in reply to that, he just says, "Go home." Slaps it into the neck. Forget about it. That's what I was talking about at the intermission there, in between games. James has this ability to actually really quickly adapt to the scenario in front of him, and it's quite impressive. I think he'll get a let there.
Oh, I thought that was a bit harsh. I think Declan James could have got that ball. Anyway, he's not complaining.
It's great to see he's more worried about the opponent.
Mazen Gamal is okay to play on. He's a 5-2 lead, and for all the neutrals in the crowd, it would be nice to see him extend that lead.
Yes, left. 5-2.
I have to say, Mazen Gamal is a very pleasant young man. I've met him around the club a few times, and he really has a great attitude. And he played last night against his compatriot Shihab Hassan, who had an incident on court. And Mazen, when that happened, he had an opportunity to serve, rush things along, and he said, "You know what? I'm just not going to do that." And it was wonderful to see. So. It is great to see that kind of sportsmanship, Kieran.
Yeah, of course. I think the guys, the guys all know each other. They all respect each other. They respect each other's ability and stuff like that. But when they get onto the court, it's not be, they're as they can be, but they respect one another.
Brutal finish from Declan James, and brutal in the sense of being so clinical and efficient.
Absolutely. Hard shot to pull off, and he keeps pulling it off with ease. fairness, you can see, see Gamal now trying a few different things, and in fairness, he's thrown a lot at James here. In terms of he's changed his game a couple of times, he's upped the pace, he's slowed it down. He's tried to play very frantic at the front, and James hasn't answered to it all at the moment.
Yeah. That's very tight work again from Declan James. I mean, he is when it comes to playing it short quickly, he probably has the better game of these two players. The Egyptians are noted, Kieran, for in terms of being able to kill the ball very quickly at the front of the court. And let's face it, this V.M.Gamal is no mug in that regard, but there are players that Declan James will encounter during his career who are probably better in that regard.
My feeling on all of that is that the Egyptians obviously started the trend of this kind of, because of the pointing system being a bit more aggressive. And I think everybody else has slowly caught on. But James, being a younger guy, has actually probably caught on quicker than others. And he's there's no kind of Egyptian English guy kind of thing here. It's just good and it's good aggressive squash when the opportunity arises, and James is definitely getting the upper hand. So I think that gap is closing, Jim.
Yeah, well, it's 7-5 now to V.M.Gamal in the third, and you saw there again, fantastic retrieving. Looked like it might have been a double hop. Declan James wasn't too pleased. Referee thought it was up, and 2-point lead.
Obviously, it's Gamal has to win this, otherwise he's going home. But he seems to have really thrown the kitchen sink at the moment, and he's looking for solutions, which is really impressive. But James is, I still have a feeling James is on top. He's just, he's looking stronger, physically stronger, mentally stronger, and tactically stronger at the moment. Well, not at the moment, but he'll find it, I think. I don't think he agrees with that. Jim, what do you think? I think that's a fair decision. What do you reckon?
Actually wasn't paying attention, Kieran, so I don't know the answer to that. A bit distracted there. Somebody came up on my right-hand side.
Yeah, I think it's a fair decision, so I'll fill in the gap for you there, James.
John Mazzarello, he's a man you can rely on. I think he probably is he is the best referee in world squash, in my opinion.
Well respected, anyway.
A lot of referees don't get any respect, Kieran, so well respected. I'll take that as a good thing for John Mazzarello anyway. Again, we're at the when push comes to shove stage of the match, so that's going to be a let. In all of these matches, Kieran, we can see when it gets to these situations, the pace increases slightly. The players want to get up at the court. They up the ante in terms of their court coverage, their effort.
As I say, the business end of it, and this is where I actually I think that's the right decision, yeah. But this is where I think James is very good. Let's see if he can squeeze, as we talked about earlier. I think this is at the business end, and if you can get 1 or 2 points ahead at this stage, it's really about maintaining that 2 point lead to get to 10. And at 10, it's a point per rally game. You're really quids in.
Gamal has a 2-point lead now. Declan James put out the door there. As Derek pointed out last night in squash, you're not allowed as a player to come out. You cannot out of the court. Declan James opened the door, had a conversation with the referee, and now he's 3 points behind. This game is not over by a long shot. Gamal is getting stuck in.
Sometimes I think that can kind of distract you. Yeah, see that? The whole distraction there, sticking his head out the door is distracting him. He's lost a 2 point very, very quickly, James.
I agree with you there, and it's not
about the mental aspect of the game.
Yeah, Kieran and we talked about the mental aspect earlier. I think when you talk about guys like Nick Matthew, who, they will come out of the court, have a conversation with the ref, perhaps when required, but it absolutely does not affect the way they play the next way. And that perhaps is, something for Declan James to pick up on. And there's no question that it is something that he will pick up on.
And I don't think it's necessary at that stage. It's really affected him here. He's getting himself into... he's kind of at the business end of the game. He kind of lost it slightly there, and he's put the ball into the tin. And I think at the end there, mentally he's kind of weakly given away the last 3 or 4 points there, James.
No question. He gave away 3 points at the end, and that will give great encouragement to Gamal. He's a seasoned pro at this stage, and you know what? He's here for the duration.
And he's going to... it's the impressive thing there is he really adapted to the scenario. Like the first two games there, he didn't have an answer, and he actually tried everything in that game. At the beginning, he's standing up the court, really getting everything fast. He upped the pace. He settled back a bit. He started to slow the pace, up the pace, and he's really looking to lose. And I just wonder, has he cracked the code now, James?
Well, I think he looks very strong. Physically very strong. He doesn't look tired. I'm not saying that Declan James looks tired, but so it could go any way.
Well, it was obvious last night with Declan James, his actual strength after a game and a half really told on the pitch, but it's not here. He's not going to bully this guy around. He's well capable. They're 2 men, they're 2 explosive powers, and I don't think it suits James not to have a structured game. I think he should revert back to being a bit more structured, try and open up the court, find his length, find the targets, rather than getting into this kind of open in the middle court, because it's just really not going to suit him. And he could get into a messy game that he could find himself losing very fast.
I agree. I don't think either player is going to improve themselves physically in terms of their fitness and conditioning. So it does seem that a scrappy game might suit the Egyptian better. And that's the great thing about sports. So we have a drama unfolding before us, real and live.
One.
straightforward safety let for Declan James. These players are so good that unless the ball is really glued to the back wall, they can hit it cross court, they can hit it straight. So we play a safety let in those situations. That's a pity for V.M.Gamal. He had one really, really good pickup in the middle of that rally and just made the mistake with the boast. Out of court.
It's a very, very, very paced rally. I think Gamal is really trying to stay in front, really up the pace here.
Yeah, they both know the importance of where we're at in terms of the score line. So probably should have played that Declan James. He had plenty of room and time. He chose to take the let, straightforward let. Tough decision there. Ooh.
It's a fair decision. I don't think he got full turn on that.
Yeah, I think that was a situation where Declan James was, he should have had the choice. It wasn't clear cut. He chose to let it go to the back wall, and the referee said, "Well, you know what? That's a stroke." But Declan happy enough with that, and we play on.
I think it's more of a safe stroke there, James. Yeah, it could have been either way. Would have been harsh. But I feel that was a bit of a tangle there. But I think James is trying to, Declan James is trying to get some structure back onto the game, and Gamal is trying to actually break it up, which is, as I was saying earlier, two different styles can make for a very, very good competitive game. But tactically, that's loose. It's very loose. I just think that it's very hard to get structure onto this when Gamal's playing at such a high pace. Do you think that yourself?
Yeah, I do. I think that Declan James is lucky to get away with the let there. But as you say, the referees want the players to play the ball. So, but Declan James is, he's going to be. This is going to be a test of his maturity here, no question.
He's kind of gone wandering a bit. I think he's finding it hard to cope with this now, and as the rallies go on, he's getting looser, and Gamal seems to be more composed in building. He seems to be more composed in building the rallies and breaking it up when he has to. I think that comes with a bit more experience.
2-4.
for sure. So strokes early on in this game.
For two very big guys, they really give themselves a lot of room. You know, it's a testament to the skill that they have.
Oh yeah, I think they are both very good movers around the court. And for spectators, that's it makes it much more enjoyable if the players are willing to get out of each other's way and play the ball. Because squash is one of those games, if you're not playing it properly, you can try and fool the referee. You can say, you can stay in position a little bit longer, try and fool the referee, try and get an advantage for yourself. And neither of these players are doing that, and makes it much more enjoyable to watch. We're joined on by Dara O'Flynn, Irish over 45 champion. And Dara, how are you doing this evening?
Can I just interject there? Over 45, I thought you don't look a day under 50. But here he is. Here's Dara.
Listen, Kieran, we all know you're the most beautiful man in Fitzwilliam. And you see that, Nick? Declan James, that is Kieran McCoy-esque. Jim, I'm doing great. It looks like it's a bit of a battle of the Twin Towers here, the huge men. What's it like, Kieran, so far? Who's got the momentum?
Well, as you say that, it's hard to understand how big these guys are. They're 6'5" apparently, which I find hard to believe because I think I'm 6'5", but I'm 5'11". But I think James is kind of he just lost his way in the third game there. Were you watching it at all?
Yeah, I've been watching it now. I was watching him there earlier on in the week. When he played Todd Harty, and he was on top against Todd in huge parts of the game, but then just a little bit of concentration, he drifted in and out, and it certainly cost him at times, allowing Todd to actually take a game off him. But he's a beautiful squash player, and so far I'm really enjoying this game.
Yeah, he's quite mature for his age. He seems to have lost his way in the last game, but he's trying to steady himself. He tried to build structure in his rallies again, rather than let the game be a bit more unstructured. Where Gamal, there you go, right there. He took the risk and he's been rewarded, and he just seems to know what to do at the right time. Loose ball punished. Gamal's trying to break it up, but it doesn't seem to be working, James.
I don't think you'll see a better forehand volley than we saw a minute ago. But yeah, I agree with you, Kieran. Declan James, it is close in this game, and the interesting thing is we'll see where we go. But Declan James, when we've got to these situations before in other games, he just seems to have that little bit more.
7-4.
Oh, your favourite shot, Jim? Oh, off the back wall. As you were explaining last night, it's a unique shot in squash, isn't it? Where you can... I'll let you explain it.
Kieran, I'm just saying it's an unusual shot in squash, so if you're not used to watching squash, you would think, what the hell's going on? The player hit the ball the wrong way. But if it comes off the back wall and gets to the front wall without bouncing, the play continues. It's obviously only played under extreme pressure, and you don't play it unless you have to. And again, a superb finish from Declan James. And we get that shout of encouragement to himself, and he only gives those to himself, in fairness, at the when he really thinks that he's close to the finish line, and perhaps he is here as well.
I think it's well said there, Jim. I think he's definitely feeling a bit of momentum. Interesting how much you know about back wall posts, because you tend to see the back wall a lot more than the front wall these days, Jim.
I concur. That's good dig there. Oh, it's a big rally now. Oh, he's back in the rally and we reset. This is a crunch rally right here, and two guys are really up in the squash. Phenomenal. What a touch. And at the end of a long rally. And that's the squeeze right there. That is the squeeze.
Unbelievable rally from both players. 100% maximum effort. And the crowd loved that. As they should. That brings up match ball for Declan James. And that brings an end to that. Well played, 3-1 to Declan James. You know, I think a superb game, superb effort from both players, and superb entertainment for the crowd. So tomorrow night, that's the last of our semi-finals. So join us tomorrow. We have the ladies' final at 2 o'clock on Irish Squash TV, and or sorry, at 3 o'clock, I should say, and 4 o'clock